Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Again, welcome to another video of Success Theories. Today I'm going to talk about actually a personal issue that I've had for most of my life. So there's this problem where you have all this content everywhere, but things will inspire you and make you feel like, wow, but not enough to make you change. Okay? Because change is probably the hardest action of life. Okay, like actually genuinely making the intention to change. Like saying, yeah, I'll start that exercise routine. That's one thing, but like actually starting it is another thing. Okay, so the motivation for a disciplined person to actually change. I'm not a disciplined person, but when I do say I'm going to change, I usually do change. Okay, so I have all this content everywhere, but nothing's inspiring me enough to change. Okay. And I'm here. This was probably around when I was like 13, 14 years old. And right now I'm 15. Okay. And I'm like about to, reach the peak of being a teenager and whatever. And I'm like, I need to get inspired quickly. Otherwise, I'm going to feed into my the natural tendencies to act rebellious and bad and just overall self pitying and just a menace to society and my family. Okay. So you have this really, really big issue. Why am I not getting inspired by, and I would genuinely sit down and listen to lectures and be like, I will get inspired today, bi'idhnillah, but it just wouldn't happen. Okay, and that's a very big problem because I see a lot of people, for example, in relationships, where you'll have, like, for example, a husband and a wife, and the husband is this extremely impressive person, okay, influential, impressive person, and the wife is extremely impressed with her husband, but it's not enough to change her and make her start doing the things that he does to be impressive, like etiquette, ethics, all the yada yada. Okay, so that's a really big problem, and I see it a lot. Okay, where people are like, yeah, I love that concept, but they can't adopt it. Okay, and again, my channel is called Success Theories because that's what I'm good in. Success practice is a whole nother thing, and that is actually the more important thing. That's like, dude, if you can do that, kudos to you. Okay, so recently I figured out how to actually get inspired by something. Okay, my mom says it, by the way. My mom, she's like, oh my gosh, living with her, like, she says these powerful things. Just by the way, I don't know if you've watched the movie Charming, but there's this very immature prince, and he's getting saved by his princess in disguise as a soldier, and like randomly he'll say these quotes and these maxims that you're like, oh, that was amazing, and then he just like moves on, and you're like, huh? Yeah, so that's how my mom is. She just like, I'm sorry, I live in front of a police station, if you can hear the police sirens, but anyways, yeah, so my mom just, by the way, was like telling my little sister who's 10 years old something about, being sincere and stuff, and she said this very, very beautiful thing. She was like, listen, you can read anything. You can watch anything. You can watch something that most people, like 99.999% people, change after it. But you're not going to change. Do you know why? And she said, why? She said, my little sister said, why? And my mom was like, do you know why? Okay, let me tell you. Because you're just reading it and you're just watching it. Nothing happens by just reading something or by just watching something. Okay? You have to apply it to your situation. You have to have a kind of a life simulation of what will happen after I start that, and you have to use that to motivate you. You have to apply it to your situation. So let me tell you something. The Quran has a lot of history, okay? And you may be thinking, okay, so what am I supposed to do with this verse that talks about Pharaoh saying that his magicians will be from his close ones if they succeed in winning the snake magic contest over Moses? I'm like, how does that even relate to me? No, that relates to you, that there's some people that they get so arrogant that just being their friends, they're making you earn it, okay, by winning a contest. And that's an easy way to tell, a filter for who you should be friends with and who you should not be friends with. Okay, that was just an example, but yeah. Okay, relate it to your own. Okay, and they've done this whole thing of trying to relate Islam and inspiring things to your life, they've tried to do this thing of modernism where you don't actually correlate Quran to your life. You just shape the Quran to your life. It's like in this relation in this like the right way, then you're making your life change because of the Quran. What modernists are doing is they're changing the Quran to go with their lives. It doesn't work that way because sorry but not sorry, you're not God. Okay? You did not write it. You don't have control over that. Okay? And they're going to get a lot, they think it's working, but they're going to get a lot of shockers in the afterlife. Like a lot of shockers. Okay? But yeah, anyways, if you want to actually get inspired by something, you need to apply it to your life. And I'm here to give you an example. Okay? We're going to do if you're not a Muslim, then I'll just basically explain a bit further. So we're gonna do the first verse of Surah Fatiha. Okay, Surah Fatiha is the opening chapter in the Quran, our scripture, and it's what we say in every prayer. That's how we start it. Okay, so let's go. It says the first verse is in the name of Allah. Allah means God, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. Okay, in the name of Allah, how does that correlate to me? Okay, God is giving us the solution. You know how sometimes we're like, I really want luck when I start this activity? Like, let's say you're about to start a race and you're like, I really want, I wish there was some dependent source of luck I could get. God is giving it to you. Say, in the name of Allah, I begin this race. Okay, Bismillah before you race, and you're starting this race with the name of God. Do you think God's going to dishonor his name by letting you lose that race? No. If you're working hard enough and if you practice hard enough, God will let you win that race. Okay? So that's just one pointer. Okay? And the entirely merciful, the especially merciful, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. So think of a time that you, okay, again, people say luck. Luck is the same thing as God. Okay, God controls that. Okay, think of this time where you were like, wow, everything's going wrong, and then something came to wrap all the wrong things in your life and turn them into something great. Okay, that was Ar-Rahman. That was the most merciful. Now think of the especially merciful. Okay, the especially merciful is only in relation to the believer. So God says, I will have a degree of stable mercy for everyone. But for my believers, for the ones who actually believe and acknowledge and are thankful to me, I will peak my mercy sometimes when they need it. For example, if everything's going wrong in your life, then God will do what he also says, Inna ma'al usri yusra, and with hardship comes ease. He will peak his mercy for you. Okay? So I just applied in the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful, that you could have just read over and been like, yay, God is merciful. That's nice. Okay? No, yeah, you have to dive in, okay? If you want to approach something sincerely, you have to dive in. You have to put that effort. Like, I feel like because this is my past, I'm like, did you really think that you would get inspired by not putting effort into understanding it? It's kind of sad, but yeah, that's just the truth of the matter. Again, please don't forget to subscribe. Subscribers make me happy. Have a nice day. Ma'asalama.